amazing, like 45-minute mix of his music. And it was all in chronological order. And halfway through, I was completely emotionally overwhelmed because I realized that the music had been present in my life from the time I could remember music. So it's, and just because of the age that he was and the age that I am, I think he was an ever-present kind of artistic presence. And so I really started thinking about him, and I was deeply, deeply moved by his story, and particularly, you know, his kind of epic, the epic quality of his story. He was so brilliant, and his death was so tragic, a profoundly great American tragedy of his story. And I think that was the kind of emotional core of the show. And so this is a lot about the absence and trying to make sense of an absence. Just yesterday there were hearings of the doctor who had administered all of these deadly sedatives to Michael Jackson. Just yesterday he started, he's back in the news. So yet again we're due for another round of Michael Jackson in the news. So I just feel like in death he seems to be as large as ever. He looms as large as ever as his figure within popular culture. I also am really struck by how it is that over time the consummate artist that he was eaten up by the freak show and the circus that he and the media created together around him. And so those are some of the things that felt really intriguing to me. I used a whole bunch of different tactics to kind of get at this theme and this story. I think some of the key themes that I was thinking of as I created these four very distinct kinds of works in this exhibition is the theme of just mourning and just marking that passing and lamenting the passing and why it happened. I thought a lot as well about mythologizing and how much myth making happened around him, both through the companies that represented him. And then through the media that kind of used his image to sell issues of their publications and to keep the circus going. But the other part of it that was really important was he himself fed the machine, the machinery of the circus and the freak show that surrounded him. So that was something that really intrigued me. It was his own complicity. He was, to me, a creature of pure media at the end. It was interesting in those pictures that they have of him being taken out of his home in a gurney at the very end. He had makeup on, and he had his wig on. He was ready for the show, even as he was dying. It was kind of a stunning thing for me to think about, and a very tragic thing as well. So I thought a lot about the myth-making. And then I think the other element I think that's really key in my show is the more, there's oceans and oceans of information about him. And what I was finding was that it was almost impossible to get a sense of him amidst all of the information because there was so much informational static, there were so many lies, and there were so many half-truths, including the ones that he himself generated, that it was almost impossible to really see him. And so that was one of the themes as well in the exhibition, was the impossibility of seeing him. So those are some of the key themes I was working with, and if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to try to address them.